Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So we're in it. Let's officially begin.
Yeah. The question was, what percentage do you think matters when we're talking about looks and dating? How
Yeah, and
important is looks?
the whole grand scheme of things, I would say it's about 30-ish, 30-40%. And there's a longer answer to that, but I'll just let you continue going for now. We can delve into that later. There's a lot of nuance to that answer.
30, 40%. So you
Something
think the
like that, yeah.
majority is, regardless of looks, like you think the majority of your success in dating has nothing to do with looks.
The majority of your success in dating, brother, comes from your overall strategy, right? And a lot of people are stuck in like old school strategies. They're stuck in the thinking that dating apps the normal way, which is I'll just go through my camera roll and upload whatever photos I have, or I'll go to bars and nightclubs, or I'll cold approach girls on a university campus, or whatever old school things are there. And anything in life, whether it's learning guitar, whether it's dating, learning a foreign language, becoming a successful stock investor, the number one thing is the strategy you use. And looks is just part of a bigger overall strategy.
Strategy. So you think a guy that's subpar in looks, like let's not go extreme and say like a 1 out of 10, like a disfigured guy. You think
Right.
like a guy that's subpar in looks, if he has a good strategy, what do you mean by good strategy? Like, what does that mean?
Right. So my community is called Modern Dating Mastery. And the reason we call it Modern Dating Mastery is because there's a big emphasis in online and digital dating now. So that's something to that guys need to evolve with and get on the times. And then another thing about strategy is, and this is why people misunderstand the importance of money. People think that it's leading with money or that money in and of itself makes a girl wet or makes her feel attraction. And that's absolutely not the case. But what money can do is buy opportunity. So let's just say if we could change the argument to say the guy's just a five, because look, if you just average grooming, you grow a beard, a little bit of a skincare routine, and a lot of gym, and at least have a good body, it would be hard to be born so physically disfigured that you couldn't achieve at least an overall five. And if that five guy has a really good strategy, money would be, necessary for some of the strategy, not all of it. But if he can put himself in a room like Dan Bilzerian, where there's a 5-to-1 penthouse party and all these beautiful girls, and he has a big personality, confidence, understands female psychology, a strong masculine frame, even if he's a 5 out of 10 in looks, he's gonna get a lot of girls.
So you don't think just being a rich guy necessarily translates into SMV, but you think I guess like the opportunities, as in being able to attend like high status parties, like you mentioned,
Yeah,
that is an increase to your SMV.
it's it's an increase to your SMV within that environment, and that's all that matters. Because when a girl's living in the moment and she's there, and she's the script has been flipped, and guys aren't coming up to her, but the ratio is completely inverted from what she's used to, then within that environment, women are just going to start competing for you, and all their bitch shield is going to go down. I used to throw these big, yeah, 4-to-1, 5-to-1 penthouse parties in Medellin, Colombia. I actually got famous there for throwing my parties. And if you can't get pussy at one of those parties, then you couldn't get pussy from a dead cat, basically. Again, now I'm not talking about the guy who has a fetus growing out the side of his face and he's 400 pounds. But yes, let me ask you: do you think a guy who let me ask you this? Um, who would overall do better? A guy with a six strategy and money, so a guy who is doing the kind of things that I said, almost the gambles, or even on a smaller scale. You don't have to be a multimillionaire to do this, but a guy is putting himself in these types of situations where he's on yachts or penthouse parties or even normal social events where the ratio is highly in his favor. He's at least a 5 or 6 out of 10, and he's got great confidence and charisma in there versus a guy who, let's just say, is a 9 out of 10. He's super aesthetic and jacked, and he's doing it the old way. He's cold approaching girls. He's not using money in any significant strategic way. He's going to bars, buying girls drinks, quote unquote, doing it the unstrategic old way. Who wins? Guy with, average guy with great strategy, or the LooksMaxx guy with old world, old school strategy?
Well, by hunch is saying the 9 out of 10 guy, but where looks really excel are on dating apps. That's where guys that have good looks can get the most out of their attraction, because like it's like such a split second decision on a dating app. It's like less than a second before a girl swipes left on an ugly guy, right? So like, girls are doing that like short of like 100 times a day. So if you're like attractive, you're gonna have your pick of the litter pretty much on a dating app. So although I do think like the 9 out of 10 guy is gonna sweep up in a bar setting, or in any of those settings you mentioned, I do think um, the real killer is dating apps. That's where guys that look good are going to reap the rewards of their looks.
You do have a good point there. So even to say, go back to my thing. So a big part of this strategy is, dating apps, virtual dating. I think anybody who thinks that cold approach is the best use of your time. Again, a nuanced answer, but for most situations, especially in more difficult dating markets, you are going to do better online. But I'd make the argument that almost anybody can take a photo where they come out attractive. There's a lot of variance in men's faces. So even if you are, let's say, objectively a 6.5, to some women, you're a 7.5 or 8. And I think women respond to the status signals in your profile even more than respond to just your looks. Yeah, you gave a shocked face there. So what came up? I know you got something.
Okay, if you got a narrowing jawline, you've got
Right.
negative canthal tilt, you've got like acne on your face. It doesn't matter if you have like some great photographer getting the right angles and lighting. That doesn't change the fact that it's an unattractive guy in good lighting. It's
Mhm.
it's the face, it's the meat and potatoes of who you are that counts. That's what's going to make you attractive, not the not necessarily the quality of whatever photos or whatever you're taking. Like that's just icing on the cake. It's not
But
it's
bro,
not the thing.
what if it's taken on an 85 millimeter prime lens? No, but so let's dive into this because this is a good argument. So be brutally honest, and actually let's hive mind the chat. You yourself, can I call you by your first initial, or do you not even want me to do that much?
Whatever.
Just the first letter.
I'm just
Okay, F. I'll call
aesthetics.
you F. So F, you can rate me, or aesthetics, whatever you want to call yourself, and the chat. Let's hive mind this. What am I rating? And please be brutally honest, bro. And chat, I already know you're going to be brutally honest. So what am I out of 10? Let's just do face alone, and then maybe I'll take my shirt off and we can bring body into the equation.
Well, how tall are you? Oh,
Uh,
face.
five 5'11". Yeah, let's just do face, or let's do face first, and then we'll do overall. Yeah, just face alone. So here's my face.
Yeah. I mean, I would say you're like a 5.
Five.
Facially.
Okay. I think that's a fair. John Mike says 6. Okay, cool. Let's just get gay for 1 second. I won't be able to hear when I take these off, but we'll get gay for 1 second.
Please don't show your cock. Please don't. All right. Yeah, he's fairly lean, not shredded, but
Not
there's a
kidding.
bit of something there. Yeah, that's better than most, like body wise. I would say that's better than most. And bro, I was so scared he was gonna show his cock or something when he said, "Let's get gay." All right, come on, you can get the shirt on. All right, all right, there you go.
All right, I'm just hearing again for the first time now. So we agree that my face is somewhere between a 5 and a 6, 4.5, 4 to 4.5. So let's call my face. Let's just be generous and call me a 5. We're kind of taking a hive mind average. Now we're half factoring the fact that I'm 5'10", 5'10 and a half. Let's just say 5'11", 5'11 in the body. What are we at now?
Slightly above average, so it's like maybe a bit above 5.
Okay,
Yeah,
so 5.5, 6 is my overall score of
yeah.
attractiveness.
See, I think height peaks at like 6'10", 6'3" in terms of attractiveness, and then after that, I think it kind of there has some diminishing returns, in my opinion. But
Okay,
I don't
cool.
want to get into that.
So to go down this hole, if should a 5.5, 6 be able to crush it on dating apps and get beautiful women on like a conveyor belt, like a factory, like an injection plastic mold factory is printing 7.5s, 8s, and 8.5s and delivering them to him in terms of dating and closing. Should that occur, or shouldn't 5.5 be too low to get these top 1% women?
Uh, well, there's when we say get women, like I mean, the context matters, right? Like, it depends on what the strings attached are.
Yeah,
Like,
smash them, smash them. Yeah, smash them.
uh, I don't know. I would say probably not in the West.
Okay, then how come I'm able to do it and my clients are able to do it?
How do I know you're able to do it?
Well, you said okay in the West. I live in Brazil, but I mean we can. So Todd V, one of the most prominent dating coaches in the world, is one of my good friends. Owen Cook, RSD Tyler, the father of all of this, Dave Perota, Patrick Red, Fresh and Fit, largest men's podcast in the world. They can all vouch for me. Did I bribe them all off? And are they, you know, lying for me? Do I have enough money to bribe these guys?
See, I don't know those guys. I know Fresh and Fit. Are they selling like courses for like? They're monetizing something, right? Like, what are they? What are they selling?
Mostly they're just paid a deal by Rumble. Honestly, they're just paid
Okay.
to stream on Rumble. They don't sell any courses.
See, the issue is you have incentive to lie about this. You have incentive to say I can get 9 out of 10s easy if you just follow my game and like you buy my coaching or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
now you can say, "Oh, I'm not lying," but that's the incentive, right? And there's no real way for me or anyone to say, "Oh, that's actually you are actually lying." Like, we can't say if you're lying or not, but the incentives are there for you to lie.
Right. So do you think I have enough money to bribe Todd V Dating, Owen
No, I'm not
Cook,
saying
Fresh and
bribe. No,
Fit?
no, no, no. I'm saying you have the incentive to overinflate the importance of game because you are paywalling game. This is what you're
No,
doing.
I don't teach game. I teach strategy. So yeah, that's the thing. I guess you
Strategy.
didn't research me, which is fine. Yeah. So I teach how to build a high status social media profile and then how to automate putting that profile in front of as many women as possible. So I have this, it's more than a theory, it's a fact, this realization that I came to. Actually, let me ask you the same thing because I already know the answer to this. But what would happen if you printed out a picture of my face and even a Western country and you showed it to girls at the mall? You're walking around the mall, most girls would say, "Oh, he's kind of average. He's not that good looking." But would you say that some of them, a small percentage, would be like, "Oh, damn, he's really handsome," even if it's just 1 or 2 or 3%?
Sure, but that's not much to go by. You could cold call people and eventually get some guy that buys a car from you cold calling them. It doesn't mean that's a good strategy.
Are you aware that you can use Instagram ads to boost your face to 10,000, 50,000 women for under $50? Are you aware that you can get an online dating virtual assistant to contact 15 girls a day for you every single day for 30 days in a row, 450 a month? The odds that and here's a misconception too. A lot of you guys think that, passport bro life, you just get a passport and then the nines and tens just line up for you and it's super super easy. That's not the case, man. These nines and tens, I don't care if they're from Medellin to Mumbai. Medellin, they can date the reggaeton singers. Mumbai, they can date the Bollywood actors. You don't just, I'm an average looking, white guy, so the nines and tens, like, do the fours and fives and sixes line up for you just for having a passport and being 5'10" and having blue eyes? Yes, they do. But anything in my strategy, if I ever talk about, women respond to this, or this is how you get girls, I'm always talking about eights and nines. And, especially a city like Sao Paulo, Brazil, even Brazil as a country, minus a few cities, is not an easy dating market. I mean, have you been to, I know you're in Bangkok right now. Have you had much experience elsewhere in other countries?
Uh, no, not to be honest. I have never been to a Latin American country before, but I know it's a common place for people to geomax. Like Eastern Europe, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. Those are like the big three. Um, Again, like I can't speak for experience. I've never been to a Latin American country, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you'll just have to, I don't know, take my word for it as of now. But I mean, I don't know. Do you see? I guess a lot of these guys lie and they like pay for it, but I don't know. I don't know if you've researched this, but you don't typically see passport bros going overseas and getting anything above a 7.5 because when you get to a certain level of beauty in a globalized dating market, yeah, like the 1980s, 1990s, I'm sure it was much different. But now girls are getting uh messaged by guys in Dubai, girls are getting, flown out everywhere. In a city like Sao Paulo, there's 20 million people. There's over like 70 or 60 something billionaires with a B in my city in Sao Paulo. So imagine how many, multimillionaires there and, no homo, pause, no diddy. Google Brazilian men and you'll see physically what my competition looks like.
Whoa,
And I kick all their asses still.
that's a bold statement for someone living in Brazil. Yo, you're screen sharing. All right, let's just see.
Yeah. So
All
these
right,
are some of
all right.
the
Let's don't
receipts.
show any nudes. Don't show any nudes.
Yeah, there's no nudes in here.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I know better than to. So this video is gonna play choppy, I think.
So okay, but yeah,
But
like
The best view. Oh, vi estou
it's probably like playing choppy, but whatever. I'll just show images. Let me
all
just I
right.
don't know.
So you take a selfie with girls you go on dates.
Yeah, absolutely. Girls love it.
Wow.
I'll show Lana, one of the artists. I don't know. Where's Lana? Same thing. I get a lot of videos. This is what I would call, I don't think anybody. I mean, the chat will be brutal. The incel chat will be brutal, but I don't think anybody could, in their right
Dude, my
mind, rate
viewers aren't
her,
incel, man.
below an.
Like, this is a
What did
common
you say?
misconception. Like, just because you want to improve your looks does not make you incel.
No, no, no. I'm saying that everyone on the internet is just toxic and weird and likes to, bash everybody. And basically, I have this ongoing joke that um, everybody in my YouTube comments uh, dates perfect tens. Everybody in my YouTube comments is 6'5". Everybody in my YouTube comments is a multimillionaire
I get you.
because
I get it.
put
I
it this
get
way,
it.
like a big part of your my live chat, your live chat, Fresh and Fits, anybody's live chat would say, oh, 6.5 at best, and it's like, bro, like, come on, bro, like, but they have the Instagram where their main photo is a car, they have 0 followers, and that's the guy who's saying that
Okay, so all right. So I agree. People on the internet can be wrong, weird, whatever. But like, you've got all these pictures with these women, right? And like,
mhm.
obviously, the pretense is, if he can date these women, therefore he must have some amazing game or strategy, like you want to say. And the point I'm making is you have incentive to say this is how it's going. Like I can get these women with just saying game or whatever. Like that's the incentive. So like I don't know if these people are paid to hang out with you. I don't know if this is like freelancers. Like I have no idea. Like the incentive is there to do this because your sales funnel starts with people saying, "Oh, look, this average-looking guy can get all these dates and like, whatever," and he has like the magical game that can help you achieve similar results. So the incentive for you is to lie. The same way, I'm not selling anything. Like I haven't really monetized my channel yet, but I would have incentive to overstate the value of LooksMaxxing if I ever come up with like a course on how to LooksMaxx, right? Like obviously.
Mhm.
So I don't think it's very wise for us to base what we're saying, like our arguments, on what our personal results are, because we both have incentive to lie about our personal results, which is why I don't like really talking about myself and who I'm sleeping with and like, oh look, here's a girl I had sex with. Like, no, I don't like that because it's very easy to dismiss.
Okay. A lot of things to unpack there. What if I was, I don't know, hypothetically to stream me on YouTube live at a rooftop lounge, picking up girls? I'm getting blown out on a few sets. Some sets, mildly hook, and some sets go really, really well. And it's, a 2 hour live stream. Would that be irrefutable evidence hypothetically, or could I have like paid the girls beforehand off camera and then go and do you know what I'm saying? Like
Okay,
what could I possibly do to show that this is legit result or anybody?
I mean, you could do that, but like I'm saying, I don't believe you can't sleep with women. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have incentive to overinflate the importance of game because this is your sales funnel. Like, it relies on people believing you have like the magic sauce, the magic game, the strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue that. I definitely am incentivized, and I guess yeah, people just have to make that. They have to look at my testimonials. They have to look at the fact that I'm networked and personal friends with like literally every single person who is an authority in this niche, and they got to make their own results. So, okay, do you have any quick questions for me on this, or I have some questions for you actually, if you don't mind.
So this is something that has been a core in my hat, or however you say it. I was perusing your TikTok, and you were complaining about people calling you bald, right? So it's like you don't like when people, have a go at your looks, which is, of course, right. But speaking to you personally, you have said that you won't even consider dating a woman that was below a 7, right?
Yeah. So, what's your question?
So, do you not think it's hypocritical to discount women that are below a 7? Uh, you're just discounting them on their looks when you don't like when people discount you on your looks.
Yeah, so you're making a classic error, which is thinking that men and women are the same. We are not the same. Our attraction triggers are completely different. We're genetically wired differently. Have you seen male rappers or people of high status that look like human walking cockroaches have groupies, beautiful women, more beautiful than you and I will ever get lining up for them? Yes,
So,
you have, right?
so just be a famous multimillionaire rapper, and then looks don't
I
matter.
didn't say that. I just asked you, have you seen ultra high status rappers and, ugly celebrities with insane high status get beautiful women? Yes or no? Because I'm cooking here.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
you
of
have, right?
course, yeah.
Okay, so you have. So, but have you seen our men gorgeous male models lining up for Oprah because she's a billionaire? Our gorgeous lining up for, let's say Kamala Harris wins the presidency. So we have a first female president, Kamala Harris. Are all these young, handsome guys going to start fantasizing and waiting outside them? Pick me, Kamala. I want to come to your trailer, Kamala. They don't give a fuck about her status. Men don't give a shit about a woman's status. Women care about status, money, having a masculine frame, your dominance, the value, the utility you add to the world. Men don't give a fuck about those things. And women do also care about looks. Looks are important. But you're making like a woman is not primarily in a long-term relationship evaluating the validity of that long-term relationship based on looks. Looks is super important. Looks gets you in the door. Looks has a lot in terms of turning a girl and making her wet. If you devolve into a fat schlob, and look, even if you're the most ultra high status, let's take a rapper like Kodak Black. He may be so fucking ugly that even when the status high wears off, the girl's like, look, I just can't, touch you anymore. So looks are a big thing, but you're making a huge like, oh, well, you don't want to date ugly bitches. Nobody wants to date ugly bitches, bro. Like, bro,
Oh, brutal.
I have like the amount of good that I'm doing in the universe, like my entitlement is through the roof. I get messages and emails from guys every day. You're changing my life. I got a girlfriend because of you. No one's putting out, content as good as you. You're the only guy who tells the truth. Like I said, like what is even let's go back to the beginning here. What does a woman have to do to get on Fresh and Fit? Be born, have a vagina. That's it. That's her qualifications to get in that show. What do men have to do to get invited on these big level podcasts? And it's not just Fresh and Fit. Alex playing with fire, Austin Summers, Austin Holloman.
This
I
is
mean,
not a good example because from what I know about Fresh and Fit and whatever, I don't really watch it too much, but the vibe, the concept is we get a bunch of these OnlyFans girls that are like gonna say some dumb stuff, and then men can be like, "Oh, look how dumb this woman is." Like that's kind of the
right, but
concept, right?
who are the men that are actually on the show?
I don't know, influencers, right?
Dan Bilzerian, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Candace Owens. She's a woman. But the point is, whether it's woman or man, the men or women, that the people that aren't like the woman on the panel, they have to have insane high status, be famous. They have to have created some massive value in the world. That's what I've done, and that's why I get my sense of entitlement to be entitled to a beautiful girl, because I am changing and improving the world in a measurable way,
See,
in a good way.
I don't think the difference is that stark. Like you mentioned how if there's like a super rich woman, that men are going to be indifferent to it. No, there's such a thing as like a sugar mama, right? Like there are women that
Bro.
flex money and they can basically attract guys that look better than them. Like this is a thing. And
No,
even
it's
there's
not,
even
bro. All right,
passport
all right,
sisters.
ask
They
the chat.
go to
Let's
like
ask the chat.
they go to like Jamaica, like these like white women that are like in their 50s, and they go to Jamaica and they get a guy that's way out of their league. Why? Because they have status, money, blah blah blah.
It's the green card, bro. That's like they're just legitimately trying to come to the States. They're not like the men are not actually attracted to those women. They're just using them for a green card. I mean, okay, let's ask the chat. I don't know. We'll say a one or what? Actually, fuck the chat. They're retarded anyway.
Oh, oh,
But yeah, bro. The I don't know how to argue this. So you're saying that a woman who is all right. Let's take this. A fat rock star can get unlimited beautiful groupies, right? But fat, old, whatever. Can a fat, old female, I don't know, high status? She could also be a singer. Like you don't. Men are wired extremely shallow. Looks is pretty much everything in terms of sexual attraction for a man. Women are not wired that way.
yes they are. Yes they are. Like if you go into a dating app, how many times do you see, oh, if you're 6 foot under, like don't swipe right or whatever. Like
That's
how
when
many
you
times do
eliminate
see that?
everything except looks. That's when you say you're blind, or I don't know. That's if you ask women this, right? You have man A and man B. All you know is that man A is hot and man B is a little bit above average, but nothing special. But man A is hot. You know nothing else about them. They're always going to choose man A, the hot guy. But if you give them the full resume and say, well, guy B is I don't know, a famous rock star and he has a charismatic personality, and when he walks into a room, everybody takes notice, and he's fucking loaded and rich. And then the handsome guy A is kind of a soft-spoken guy, maybe a little bit awkward and not financially stable. Now all the women are going to choose guy B. But when you only give them like, this guy has money, this guy doesn't, this guy is tall, this guy is average height, but maybe the tall guy is a weirdo and the average height guy is handsome and rich, then they would choose the average height guy over the tall guy. When you literally limit it down to one thing, you give them nothing else to choose on. That's literally all they have.
See, I think you're very much underestimating the importance of looks here. And like, we're talking about getting girls, but there's more to like just being able to sleep with a girl, because that doesn't necessarily give you the full picture of what's going on. Like you could pay a prostitute for sex and you could say, oh, I've got a girl. Or you could do it in a more roundabout way where you like take her out to luxurious restaurants and, give her gifts and stuff. It's still kind of the same concept. Like there's lots of ways to get girls that isn't necessarily the girl literally being attracted to you, full stop. And like, you give these examples of, these singers or rappers or whatever that have like high status. And it's like, first of all, it might just straight up be gold digging. They might be trying to get alimony or whatever. Or they want some clout. Like, this is like the influencer economy. How many times do you see some some like streamer that's like really not attractive, like Destiny. Do you know who Destiny is?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Destiny. He's like this kind of like
I know who it
lefty
is, yeah.
streamer, and he's I would say he's like a free if I'm being generous. And he had like this 8 out of 10 really attractive Swedish girlfriend that also just happens to be an influencer. She also happened to have a streaming career and wanting to build up her social profiles. She gets a huge boost from dating him and like kickstarts her OnlyFans career or whatever she's doing. And then a few years later just dumps him, but she keeps all the following and all the the clout and everything. So you know, and this happens so often. Like, there's so many examples of this with like Twitch streamers that date a girl way above their looks level, and it fucks them over because they don't really want this guy. They're not really attracted to this guy. They want what this guy can bring them, and that's not attraction. Like that isn't attraction. Like, if like okay, here's something interesting about sugar mamas. I've encountered this recently, and I've never encountered this in my life up until like a year ago, where I've had like two women that were like actually rich, like offered to like pay for stuff and like give me gifts and stuff, and like that's new to me. Like I've never encountered that up until
Where did this
I
happen?
improved my looks. Oh, this was in
Yeah, where did
Thailand.
Thailand? Okay.
Yeah, and like these are like
Um,
rich women that like there's the sugar mama vibe, and like I think I think people, men and women aren't that different in this way. Like if you want to date someone way out of your looks level, people are smart enough to know, oh, I have to compensate in some other way. But the key word is compensate. It's not them genuinely coming to you because they're attracted to you. You're getting some honey. You're giving them some honey to come in. So like what you're describing doesn't invalidate lookism. Like lookism is still there if you have to compensate to get a girl way above your league.
Lukeism?
Lookism. Yeah,
What
look.
does that mean?
Yeah, it's basically
Looks?
the importance of looks in society.
Okay. I haven't read my black pill dictionary yet. I just learned what purple pill or red, I don't know all this stuff, all the different pills. Okay. What you said there, yeah, you're not wrong about a lot of things, man. I actually agree with a lot of what you said. Um, yeah, Destiny got played. It's so funny that he would go on these podcasts and argue to the bitter end that you guys are wrong, the red pill is retarded, and then it's like the ultimate case study for the red pill just got bulldozed by this chick, just played like a fucking fiddle. Just humiliated.
But hold on, what's
Um,
Destiny? What did Destiny do wrong in your book? Because he did what you said. Like he's status maxed. He's got lots of money. He is like
yeah, he
he's
got
got his
humiliated
groupie.
on the internet by being used and discarded like a used condom by a woman who totally used him for clout and then dumped him when she got what she wanted out of him. Went all over the world, international podcast, millions of views, arguing that the relationship was legit. He had an open relationship, and even he was a cuck. He let his wife or girlfriend, they're actually married, I think, right? He let his wife fuck other guys. Super embarrassing in and of its own right. And then also, like I said, arguing she's not with me for the status. We're really in love. She's not using me for clout. And then that's exactly what happened. So that's pretty fucking humiliating, bro. No offense to Destiny. If I ever meet
Yeah,
him one day, I've done some humiliating shit too. We all, have embarrassing moments, but it is just funny to like argue this, and this. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. And then it happens.
okay. Well, let's put the cuck thing aside because I know you're not advocating that. But like,
Do you?
no, of course not. But
Okay.
status maxing, like this guy did that. Like he basically he had so much clout, he had so much success and money, and I don't see how you could say he did anything that you wouldn't suggest. Like you're talking
Yeah,
about
I'll
the
tell you where he went
importance
wrong.
of go on.
He failed to understand what I call a strong burning desire from women. This is something that I could try to teach in a module in one of my courses. My shit. But it's really hard. I don't know how I would articulate this. It's just something that I have from sleeping with anywhere from, I don't know, 1 to 4 women a month for the last 10 plus years or more. I don't know. No. more like closer to 20 years. And just dealing with a lot of women. But strong burning desire is this. You can call her on a Wednesday and say, "Hey, babe, I'm supposed to get dinner with my friend, but it looks like he's flaking out, and I don't know, like, are you doing anything, or like if you're free? Oh, I'll be right over. Okay, I'm just gonna put on a little bit of mascara and no foundation. I'm calling an Uber. I'll hop in the shower and I'll be right over." This is the type of girls that you can't give them enough dick. You fuck them 2, 3, 4 times a day, and they want more. They just never stop. These are the women that cry around you if you do something to make them a little bit jealous. You can just see, like, if the waitress flirts with you a little bit, and you can see how they almost want to start crying a little bit. I mean, I'm really certain that Destiny would have missed all the obvious signals, all the lack of strong burning desire, because he got used and played. Like, it's proven, it was clear, it was in the back of her head to use this guy. And listen, I may get got. I'm up here claiming, "I know everything, and I'm Casey Redbeard, and I'm such a Billy badass." I may get played. We all fucking get played. I'm just saying it'd be a lot fucking hard. It'd be orders of magnitude harder to play me than the average guy who just, meteorically rose to fame overnight like Destiny and Status Max. Because he doesn't understand female psychology at the level that I do. He's not from my same pedigree. He didn't do cold approach pickup in nightclubs for 10 years with the top people in the world, recording himself, taking no. I mean, come on, bro. He's an average guy. He doesn't get this stuff. He doesn't know how to identify who a gold digger is. He's just a civilian.
Civilian, man. See, everything you say has this vibe like, oh, you have to like say the right magical string of words, and like women will just like turn on to you, like they'll have this burning desire, like, quote unquote. Like, no, like the same way you have a burning desire for a woman that is very physically attractive, women feel the same. They see a tall guy with abs, like he's got a pretty boy face, he's got like a strong jaw, whatever physical characteristic that's attractive, and they feel the same. The same way you look
You're
at
right.
a woman that's super curvy, like it's like
I agree.
both men and women are superficial. Like, we're both just humans that want to, reproduce with good genetic quality. And, this is not something I think is necessarily bad. Like, it's just part of who we are. Like, it's why we've made it to this point. Because in the past, life was so brutal. You had to go for guys and girls that had good health markers and dimorphism, because you wanted your offspring to survive the great filter that was, what's it called? Childhood mortalities. Yeah, childhood mortality. But so like you want like high quality offspring, and we haven't
I agree.
changed since this time. Like, girls still want a guy that has a hunter body. Like, they still want that. They still want that guy with the V taper and the abs and the long limbs. Like, they're still attracted
Agreed.
to that. And
Agreed.
we feel the same with girls that have that super curvy body, a small waist. She's not pregnant, wide hips. She can give birth easier and probably not have complications. And all of this is to say that the same motivation you have for excluding unattractive women, which you've said in your own words, women have the same for men. A lot of them do. A lot of them will discount a guy just because he's not a 7 out of 10.
So I'm gonna agree with you on a lot of that. Let me explain a theory that I have to you, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree. And this is just kind of a fun way of looking at this. To be the sex-worthy guy, relationship, attractive, turn-on guy, let's just make up a system where you need a certain number of points to get that level of attraction. Being a celebrity is not attainable to 99.999% of men, but for a guy, again, like Kodak Black or XYZ, Little Uzi Vert, some unattractive rapper, he can get all 10 points that he needs to be the sex-worthy guy from his status. He can be a 0 in looks, a 0 in game, and a 0 in money, but he has so much status, he can just get all 10 of his points in terms of attraction from status. You even said it yourself. When you look at a person, you think they're attractive, your subconscious evolutionary reptilian brain is thinking that we will have offspring that are likely to survive. And by her mating with the fucking chief of the tribe with the highest level of status is the best way to ensure the survival of her offspring. That is what evolution, when you think of like the wide hips, the childbearing hips, beautiful symmetrical face, plush tits, young, long hair, straight teeth, has all her teeth, good skin, not broken out, weird skin. You're subconsciously thinking healthy offspring. Okay, cool. So that's what the girl's thinking. Status is the main indicator of like survival of the offspring. Maybe not like genetically healthy, but if you're talking about like overall survival, let me just finish it. So there's a comment, and you can get these points from a variety of ways. You can get, 3 points from access to resources, 3 points from looks, and then 4 points from chemistry, connection, and strong masculine, personality traits. Let me hear what you have to say about that.
Who
Would you,
would
for, do you
be
agree with my point system
uh,
that you can kind of take points from different things to add up to 10?
okay, but we're compensating for a lack of looks. That's what we're talking about. And oftentimes when people do that and they get a girl way above their looks level, things turn out badly because it's like it's not meant to be. It's like you're playing with fire when you're dating someone way better looking than you. And I can elaborate on that later, but I think
Well,
you mentioned like who the chief of the tribe, like that would be like a good option for having a healthy offspring.
yes.
But who would
Well,
become the chief
survival
of
of
the
the
tribe?
offspring.
Like it's not gonna be some short schlubby guy. Like that's not who's gonna be a chief of a tribe in the majority of human history. It was probably whoever was the meanest, whoever was like the most physically robust, tall, long limbs, good fighter, lean, that kind of stuff, right? So it's not just like
Well, we don't.
it's not like today where
I'd have
Elon
to.
Musk is
Yeah,
like the chief of the tribe.
we can kind of like mentally masturbate on that, but we're not cultural or biological anthropologists. I can look into that. But yes, I could, we also let's not be idiots here and make weird arguments. But yes, in many cases. But look, it could be the guy who uh was the best hunter, the most strategic hunter, the guy that said, hey, when you're going to chase a woolly mammoth, you got to dig a pit first, lead the mammoth into the pit, then the mammoth falls, and oh, this guy's so brilliant, he came up with a new hunting method to kill the mammoth. Let's make him the leader, not the biggest guy, but the guy who had the best way to provide for the tribe. I could make a good argument for that guy being the leader. But let me just ask you, what do you think about my point system? So you do agree with the point system, but you think that it's all making up for a lack of looks, but you do, at least in theory, agree to my point system, or no?
Uh, yeah. I mean, you can make someone unattractive more attractive in terms of SMV with money and status. Yeah, I agree with that. But I think you're playing with fire if you're doing this. Like, if you're dating
Well, I think you're
someone,
playing with fire if you're getting a girl based on looks and a shit personality. So like there's two sides of the coin, right? So I have a fire personality and I got this girl, but eventually she's going to realize she can get a better looking guy and I'm playing with fire. Or I could say it the opposite way. You could say, I got this girl based on my looks, but she's going to be like, okay, this dude's kind of a bitch. He's kind of a pussy. He's boring. He's not super interesting. He's not providing for me financially. Now I'm going to leave the good looking guy. Do you know what I mean? Like you pretty much have no choice to get a beautiful girl that's an 8.5 and above in these modern times without being fairly maxed out in every category. By the way, we have a super chat from you. You want to read your super chat?
oh, someone donated. I saw George W gave me £5. Was there any more?
I'll read this one. Podcast, yeah, Tear728 says podcaster slash influencer slash dentist. I don't know. Method profiteers have created a pop culture of brain rot. They've played a major part in ruining dating dynamics. If everyone turned them off, things would return to normal. So you're saying, okay, he's saying that being an influencer is just not a. Do you understand what he's trying to say? That
No,
it's not
sorry,
a good
I
strategy.
don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, I hear another donor. Let me check. Oh shit, yeah, $10 from sorry, bro. I
That's what I just read
genuinely
out
I
loud.
genuinely don't know that name you refer to, but thank you for the donor and thank you George W for the donor. So here's the thing. Like when I'm saying playing with fire, when you're dating someone that is better looking than you are going to feel like, maybe this person can do better than me. Maybe he's gonna leave me, or maybe he's gonna sleep with a girl that's better, and vice versa, right? And if you're dating someone that is below your looks level, like significantly, you are going to feel, am I settling down too low here? Like, could I do a bit better? I think you should always date someone that is within like a point difference within your own rating. Like, so if you're like a 5, I don't think you should go lower than a 4 with a girl you date, or higher than a 6, because at that point, I feel like there's going to be some bad relationship dynamics that comes with that huge discrepancy in looks. And like Destiny is a good
Let's
example. Like he's like, let's say he's a 3 and his
Well, bro,
ex-wife
he
is an
lacks a
8.
strong masculine frame too,
That
as
doesn't.
well.
That's not. That doesn't change someone's sexual attraction to someone.
I'm talking about maintaining in a relationship. So let's go down this road. So a hot guy, let's say this, right? Girls with a 10 out of 10 chat. Let's go. He's not even a 9.5, bro. Let's say he's one of the guys who could actually monetize his looks. He's that level of chat. And he's dating this girl who is an 8 or a 7.5. And she's pretty, but she's not nearly on his level. And they're walking down the street, and this homeless guy is kind of saying, change, do you have money? And they're like, no, sorry, we can't give you money. Oh, you got, I know you got something. Come on, just give me something. No, like, will you please leave us alone? No, give me something. I'm not going to stop berating you guys until you give me something. And then the guy, as they're walking out, says, babe, can you protect me? Can you tell him to, can you yell? Can you tell him to leave? I just don't like confrontation. She's going to stick with that guy because he's hot aesthetically?
Dude, if
Get the
you
fuck out of here.
if you are good looking, you're probably not going to be that bitchy, like, or pussy. Like, you're not going to be like that. Like, can you imagine a guy talking like that who was like above 6 foot with abs and like had like a strong like face? Like, no, he's not going to talk like that. People that talk like that are like schlubby, skinny fat millennials that, you know, have no life experience. That's who would say that sentence you said. It's not going to be Chad. Chad's not going to say that.
Well, let's say hypothetically, right? Because we're talking about where we're trying to compare what's more valuable in a long-term relationship, looks or and here's the thing too. Maybe Chad has the ability to tell the homeless guy to fuck off, but that doesn't mean Chad is always going to stand up to his girl. I mean, have you ever not met a guy who's dating a shrew, kind of like a nagging woman, and he puts up with it? I see it all the time. Guys who don't check their girl, guys who don't have like it's funny. Like I'll tell a guy, hey, do you want to go with me on this trip? I'm going to Bangkok, whatever it is. Yeah, let me just get permission from my girl first. I said, what? Get permission from your girl? Like, did you spontaneously grow a vagina overnight, or like what happened? So I see guys that are all the time that, dude, look, I've simped on girls, you've simped on girls. Girls are wizards. The power of the pussy is real. Everyone gets a little bit simpy over girls once in a while, but I'm talking about the guys who let themselves be walked over, or they're just not ambitious. And look, like I would definitely say it's more correlated, but we can't say that look, if you want to talk about the guys also 6'2" and 250 pounds with a six pack, yes, but like a lot of Chads are 165, 5'10", and they just have like a Leonardo DiCaprio face. You can't,
Yeah, yeah.
for instance, say that guy's ultra dominant and masculine. But let me just, so like what's more likely, let's do the extreme, right? So I don't know, we can say, let's not even give numerical values, but the guy who lucked out and is punching above his weight class, and he's trying to retain this beautiful girl, and one guy's lacking in the looks department, he's punching above his weight class because his looks is lower, and the other guy's punching above his weight class because his personality, he's just kind of a weird guy. Maybe he's on at the spectrum a little bit of Asperger's. Which one's more likely to lose his girl over time? The guy who's punching above his weight because of looks, or the guy who's punching above his weight because of a weird personality?
What do you mean by weird person? You think like someone on the spectrum? Well, yeah.
I mean, we don't
That's
have to
kind
go
of
that extreme. We don't, but he's just kind of a pussy, let's just say. He's just generally kind of a bitch.
I don't know. Uh, my hunch is that it would be the looks discrepancy that would be the most risky for that guy.
All right, could I ask, what are your results since before and after going through your LooksMaxx journey?
Yeah. So like I used to be fat, like really obese actually. Um, didn't like keep care of myself really. I had like a Chechen style beard. Like I was just like, just basically a slob. And I lean down. I'm not like super shredded or anything now, but like I've got somewhat abs now and like a good V taper and like cheekbones that stick out. Like so I started seeing like differences in my face, and after that point, yeah, like it just became way easier, and like girls became way more ferocious in how they texted me. Like it was like more like so like let me compare the difference. When I was like fat, it was kind of like I had to like talk them into going on a date with me and coming over, and it was like it felt like I had to like coo them in, like come on, come on. Now it feels like they want me, like they actually pursue me. Like it's more animalistic, like a girl that would like text me like just like crazy shit, like really like dirty stuff, and that's new. Like that's not something I experienced when I was fat. So although I could like theoretically go on a dates with a girl when I was fat and like whatever, and then we sleep, and it's the way it's done is different. When you look good, or so I don't think I'm like Giga Chad or anything, but I
What
think
do you rate yourself? I'm just curious. I'm not going to rate you because that's gay, but what do you rate yourself?
I don't know. Like to be honest, it's kind
If you
of
had a gun to
like
your head.
it's a bad question because it's a bad question because there's like the incentive for me to be like humble, like oh, I'm a free, like there's that kind of incentive.
Oh,
So
come on,
like,
bro. Just be honest, bro.
shit, I don't know. Like there's some pictures I look at and I'm like, damn, I look pretty good, and then there's some pictures where I'm like, bro, what the fuck's wrong with my face?
Gun to your head. You're
There's
gonna
no
die
gun
if
to
you
my
don't say
head.
a number.
There's no gun to my head, and I'm not gonna
Hypothetically.
die. It's not gonna happen.
You're not gonna rate yourself?
People are gonna say whatever, and it doesn't matter what I think my rating is.
I was
It,
just curious. No, you're right. It doesn't matter. I was just curious.
it's what like the market thinks, right? Like you could have like a
Yeah.
product, but if nobody buys it, like it doesn't matter how good you think that product is. The best way to rate
Uh,
yourself is to go on a dating app and see what happens. That's the best way
can
to
you
rate yourself.
where you're from? Are you from the UK
Yeah,
or where are you from?
yeah, I'm from UK.
All right. So if you were to go to a top club in London, do you think you could cold approach women and have success with a girl who's an 8 and above in a London nightclub?
I've never been to a London nightclub. I have no idea.
How old are you?
Oh, I'm 31.
31. Okay. Oh, wow, you look a lot younger, bro. Jesus, you're 31.
Yeah, skin maxing.
How long have you been a Chad?
How long have I been what?
A Chad.
I'm not a Chad.
How long have you been at your current level of attractiveness that you are today?
I would say like 2 years. Um,
Okay, so have
yeah.
you not been to the UK in the last 2 years?
Oh, I've been like I go and visit.
Have you talked to women in the last 2 years?
Yeah, of course.
So how do most girls react to you?
Most girls, most girls are down to sleep with me on the first date from dating apps.
Okay, so how about in person? Do you do any in-person cold? And be honest, do you do any in-person cold approach?
I've done it before, like maybe a few times when I see like a girl that's like my niche, like a chubby girl with a small waist. I'm like, ah, this is rare. Let me get her Instagram. But
We call that thick in America. And how
yeah,
does that
like
usually
not
go?
that goes. It goes okay, but I get more success on dating apps to be honest.
Okay, so you get do you pretty much back home have you used dating apps back home in the last 2 years?
Yeah, briefly.
Okay. Do you pretty much get your pick of the litter even back home? And I would imagine super competitive and super brutal. No offense, you probably agree. Actually, British women are some of the ugliest women on the planet. Um,
Oh my
or I don't know.
god,
Actually, maybe
yo,
you don't agree. Do you
that's
agree?
crazy. I, okay, so in London,
They're
London
horrendous, bro.
is tough. I get like a
Because they're not from
fraction.
London, or they're not British. I mean,
So in London, I get like a fraction of the matches I would in Thailand. Like that's kind of obvious, right? Like
Well, of
I don't
course,
think
bro.
that's news to anybody. Yeah.
But okay, but yeah, I'm not talking about quantity. I'm talking about quality. So you do or you don't get your pick of the litter with women back home in the UK in an ultra competitive dating market. And it's okay if you don't. It's one of the most difficult dating markets in the world.
I haven't given it like a real try, but because like when I visit UK, I'm visiting my parents, so I'm like I'm
Gotcha.
for Christmas and stuff. So like I don't really try.
Okay. I want to go back to something you said earlier too. So, I mean, you are monetizing. Your channel's monetized. You made it a big point to monetize this stream before we started. So you are monetizing your views. You do have an argument to make. You do have direct profit to be gained from convincing men that looks matter a lot and they should go on a looks maxing journey. And I agree. And there's nothing wrong with
No,
that.
no,
You
no.
put out a lot of value.
To be precise, considering I'm getting so it's monetized like through ads, right? But like that's people just watching my content. I don't make anything if people take my advice or not. It's just people resonate with what I'm saying and they watch my
Right.
videos and
But
that's
the
it.
better the advice and the more compelling argument you can make for why your advice is correct, the more incentive they have to listen to you. Watch time goes up, ads
Yeah,
go
yeah.
up, new subscribers.
I'm nitpicking, but yeah,
Yeah, you are monetized. And there's fine. Listen, I had a guy that says everything that Redbeard says is correct and he's so right, but don't buy his shit. These guys are all grifters. And then someone in the comments responded to him defending me before I could even defend myself. They're like, okay, so a doctor shouldn't get paid for the value he does, or a physical therapy. Like, you put out value. These editing the videos, even dealing with this technology and this shit failure of technology live stream we did, it's a hassle. We've been on the call for, I don't know, at least an hour now. So you do deserve that. So you are incentivized. And I'll just be honest. And I was saying to this, I do kind of find it odd that you wouldn't post any proof of the results. The only possible reason why a man could ever care to be more attractive or more good looking is for the attention and increased results that they get from women. It's one of our core things. Romance, love, sex, joy, relationships is core to both genders. And if you could, show, hey, here's when I'm gonna share my screen for a second if that's cool. Can I show your old picture? I'll just
yeah.
look like
Go ahead.
your transformation. Um, we'll just share that real quick. So you can say, hey, I went from this. Yeah, you even had the bitch tits. Did you get gynecomastia surgery or no? Or did they just go away when you lost weight?
Yeah, it just went away when I lost weight.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty brutal before. So props off to you for making a really big transformation. But yeah, I mean,
Thanks.
they're watching. Yeah, you're welcome. So you're doing this to so I just find it odd that you wouldn't because I don't know, man, there's a lot of good looking guys that can't retain women, that still act weird around women, that even though they can get a match, they fall apart in the follow-up. Women can be extremely flaky. A match does not equal a date. And it's pretty easy to even kind of blur their faces out and stuff like that. So I'm curious, why don't you show some of the results with the girls? That's what the guys want to see.
Do they? Because the way I think about it is, if I have like some bimbo on my arm and I'm like talking about, hey, this could be you too, or whatever, or like implying that, I think it would actually cheapen my case because it seems like very used car salesman-y. Like what you're doing, you take like a selfie with every girl you go on a date with, and you're like, hey, look at this girl I'm banging. It's just like, to me, it's just lame. I just find it lame, and I feel some people are gonna resonate with that too, because it does seem like it's like a rich guy, and he's like showing off Lamborghinis and like blah blah blah, and you just think, this, you seem like a grifter, you seem like a scammer, just the vibe. And like the people I know that are like genuinely rich, they don't flex like that. So what I'm saying is that it just doesn't match my vibe. Like having some, like, even if I am like in a relationship with some super hot girl, for me to be like, hey, check it out, this is my girl. Like that's That's not my vibe.
You'd get a lot more views. You'd make a lot more money and get a lot more views. That's for sure. I
I
recently
don't know.
posted.
Like
I mean, bro, listen, go to my Instagram. Look at all the talking head videos where I say, here's some helpful advice you can implement, right now. 3K views, 5K views at the most, maybe. Me showing a girl in the video. I got one that's got like 200K views now because I show the receipts. There's a guy that one of my he's like, I don't say a friend, but he's an acquaintance. I've met him and hung out with him a bunch of times. He has the biggest finance channel on YouTube. And he said, this is what cryptos you should buy. Don't argue with me in the comments. I'm going to post old clips from YouTube videos 6 months, a year and a half ago, and I'm going to repeat my picks. He said, 6 months ago, I said to pick this. 8 months ago, I said to pick this. 12 months ago, I said to pick this. And he's like, okay, I was right every single time in the past. So that's my qualifications. That's my resume. That's why you shouldn't fucking argue with me. Just shut up and buy these cryptos when I tell you to, because I've been right every time in the past. And if you think I've ever been wrong, I don't delete videos, like you use the Wayback Machine and like, I've never been wrong before. Like, wouldn't you agree that that's not like braggadocious? That's literally just like, you have to show you're an authority
That's
to
different
prove to people.
because that is indisputable. If someone says Ethereum is gonna go up 20% next month, and it goes up 20% next month, that is indisputable. There's no way that's deception. There's no way there's any fun. Like, it's very objectively true, and it's like it demonstrates good advice, right? But just making a channel about dating and like having like some bimbo on your side of your arm, it's not that objective. Like, you can like pay a girl to like hang out with you. Like, you can like there's prostitutes. There's like all kinds of ways you can get a girl to be next to you for a picture. That doesn't necessarily mean she's attracted to you. Like, it's not the
You're
same
right.
thing.
You're right, but take my word for it,
And
you would
like, when
get
you do that,
a lot more views.
people are going to the PR of it is going to show that you really want people to believe that you can bang women, and like people will suss that out, and then they'll think, okay, well, maybe he's not really doing it. It's kind of like, I'll believe a guy that says he's successful with women that looks good but doesn't show it than someone that is average looking and like has a bunch of like pictures and like makes a big show and dance of it, because it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's flexing too much. It's flexing too much.
Well, you will get a lot of hate, but those aren't your buyers, right? So all the people, I mean, I get called, he's a grifter, this and that. When I went on Fresh and Fit, I've been on there multiple times, but yeah, the chat just roast me. I hear it all before. The hairline, the eyes being too close together, the yellow teeth. One guy, and then they do like these random hilarious comparisons. Like, one guy said I look like The Rock from The Never-Ending Story. I had to Google what that was. There's like some rock in that movie, and it was fucking hilarious. Here, I'll show it on the screen. Some guy said, "You guys chat. You can let me know if you agree with this guy." So they roasted, but then again, like, those aren't my buyers, right? Okay, The Rock from Never-Ending Story. Yeah, they said I look like this guy, bro. I can kind of see it.
Oh
That's
my
the crazy
god,
part.
dude.
I could kind
Brutal.
of see it, bro. I
Brutal.
can kind of actually see it. But the thing is like, I feel like, at least in my case, not that I'm, obliged to defend myself in any way, but you wouldn't look at me and think, this guy can date a bisexual 10 out of 10 lawyer that speaks English and have her be completely submissive to him. Like, you just wouldn't look at me and assume that. So I feel like I need that. It's like, it's it's inspiration. Like, damn, if that guy can do it, then maybe I can do it.
Yes, that is the marketing. I accept that, but I see, the way I see it is dating coaches, guys that sell pickup artist course, like, that kind of, that bubble of content. I think is I do think is grifting, because you have guys that are average or below average looking. They're gonna see that, they're gonna be like, wow, I too can get a really attractive woman if I just say X, Y, and Z. I just need to give money to this guy to teach me. And I think it's preying on people who really can't get those results in a meaningful way. Like, the way to do it is to look better. The way to attract more women is to be attractive.
No, you're
It's
right. That
it's
is a huge. No, I won't argue with you, bro. You're so right. That's a huge part of it. It's just not all of it.
but again,
But no,
like what
you're totally right.
a lot of the things I say isn't that monetizable. Like go on a calorie deficit, get to a lean body fat percentage. In fact, it's the opposite of monetizable. It's telling people to consume less. And
I could have a mewing course or something. But yeah, I get you.
yeah, like there's guys on LooksMaxx saying that I've seen some ridiculous shit like you know, take my course on how to grow taller in your adulthood. Like just like absolute
Well,
crap.
you know what? You can even get so big you can just promote like anything, like a browser extension that automatically searches for coupons on the current site you're on. You know, like you can just do that stuff. If I may, I want to see because and it's not your fault, but you're kind of comparing me a lot to like pickup artists where, you know, say the right thing. That is my pedigree. That's my original thing. But we agree a lot more than we disagree in the fact that I think the future is dating apps. I'm not one of these guys that says if you just have good voice and eye contact, but you're a schlub or this and that, saying the right things. So yeah, I'm not, doing the old school, I don't know, like mystery method advice. So I want to show you this page that talks about my strategy. Plus, some of the chats like wondering like who is this guy? And this is not meant to be a sales pitch here. Yeah, don't buy anything. I don't want your money. Um, but this just explains. Yeah, don't. I'm a grifter. I'm a scammer. My community, my course is terrible.
Look at
Don't
this
buy
website.
anything. But this is my strategy. So about the old way. Okay, so here's the new way, right? So let me know if and when you disagree with any of this stuff. Because remember, I said it's about strategy, right? So leverage the power of social media to create an automated system for meeting women using other people's time. Create a profile that is attractive to women, then pay a $5 virtual assistant to put that profile in front of as many women as possible. So does it mean he was swiping on girls, the exact type of girls that you instructed for him, and he's looking for girls on
Dude,
Instagram?
status doesn't matter on dating apps. Like what does I don't understand how having high status, how do you communicate that on a dating app picture?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you the photo. I don't want to give away my profiles, but I'll show. Let me see here. Okay, cool. Just scroll down to the bottom here. So the most recent ones. So,
Jesus, you got a lot of photos. Oh my god.
oh yeah, dude. No, I collect photos. Um, do low status men smoke cigars on rooftop lounges and dress like this with cool friends? Maybe not. Do low
But
status guys eat at fancy restaurants when they're super well dressed with, cool friends?
but why would a
They
woman
probably don't.
confuse that with someone being attractive? I don't understand how that.
Because status is attractive when I'll show one more. Like this is a reel that's been, where is it? I'll show it real quick. It would be here. It's just a reel. I don't think I can find it right now. But it's a reel of me speaking on stage at a marketing. Yeah, here it is. I won't, I'll just show a clip. Again, I know it's gonna play choppy on the screen share anyway, but yeah, I'm giving a speech. Shy, weird, broke, unsuccessful men who have not accomplished anything in their lives and would be uninteresting and boring and lame and unconfident and shy and give off a weird vibe don't typically give speeches to a crowd full of 200 people, nor do they, take photos in luxurious, locations like this and stuff like that. I don't know if you can tell, but I obviously use FaceApp, and that's a whole other thing I want to talk about. So this is, well, I'm just going one by one. So that's what I mean when I say, the high status profile. It's because low status, weird guys don't eat in fancy restaurants with beautiful women. This communicates status,
How okay?
right?
How does being weird make someone not physically attractive?
It doesn't affect their physical attraction at all. Absolutely zero. But women, I mean, bro, you ever like been flirting with a girl? She's eating out of the palm of your hand, and then you say one thing, you offend her a little bit, or I don't know, like, something goes wrong, and then, or you've seen with like other guys, oh, I sent her the wrong text and she lost attraction. Women lose attraction for guys like that. You do one wrong thing, boom, they're out of there.
Yeah, but that's that's a warning sign that you're not physically attracting her. If someone's looking for an excuse to like throw you away, then they aren't that into you. Like You know, in think about it from your own perspective. When you see a girl that's like super attractive, uh, you know, it takes quite a lot for you to be like, ah, get away from me. I'm not interested. Like, it takes, she has to do a lot for you to have that reaction. And it's the same with men. Like, if you're like a very attractive man, you
No,
need to do a lot of things wrong in succession for that girl
not
to
true, bro.
discard you.
Men are looking
Bro,
for reasons to justify the girl. Women are looking for reasons to disqualify him.
again, I'm not saying I'm Giga Chad or anything, but I've texted girls and said like the most like outlandish shit to them very early on, and they're like, "Hey,
Well,
yeah,
sure,
so
you're
when we
you're in
meeting?"
Bangkok, bro. I
Like,
mean, yeah,
come on.
like you're a good-looking white guy in Bangkok, bro. I mean, yeah, and also, I have zero evidence. There's zero evidence to show you're talking to 8.5s and nines. When you say girls, yeah, bro, a good-looking guy in Thailand, maybe you're matching with fives for all I know, and you could literally say or do anything. You can tell them, hey, I have gonorrhea, and they'll come over and suck your dick, that night.
But yeah, this is why I don't like talking about my own life because
And
it's
this is
very
and sorry
easily.
and this is why okay, because and this is why people talk about girls, what gets girls, how to attract girls. This is kind of like in the bodybuilding community. Some people say this is what builds muscle, but if a guy's on steroids, different things work. So the guy on steroids may say, you want to work out twice a day or three times a day. You can only work out and recover if you're on steroids, right? Three times a day. Same thing. If you're talking about this works on women, or no, women don't disqualify you over something small, or I don't get flaked on a first date. Like, guys say this to me all the time. What, Casey, why do you recommend you got to take a girl to some really, really nice restaurant or rooftop lounge for the first date to avoid flaking? I just tell the girl, come get coffee. You need to work on your frame. You need to da 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 da. You need to work on your whatever. And I'm like, bro, because you're dating sixes, man. If you were at my level, if you were dating the girls at my level, the 7.5s, eights, and nines, like if you have dated true nines, very unlikely they're just going to get coffee with you, bro. And then you saying like, I can say anything to girls and they don't disqualify me. Bro, that's because you might be talking to sixes, man. I mean, I don't know, but like, bro, like I highly doubt that like a nine, bro, why would a nine, if you're texting her some nonsense, offensive, weird stuff that should get you disqualified, some rubbish, a true nine could be dating a celebrity. She could be dating an actor. She could be dating a musician. She wouldn't put up with that behavior just because you got some facial surgery, bro.
Look, you know that if you see a girl that is very attractive, you are going to be way more forgiving for her and her foibles and her personality quirks. Like, you agree on that. It's the same for women looking at men. It's the same thing. And, like, the most extreme example. So, we're talking about status, and you think status is important, but have you heard of a guy called Jeremy Meeks? Have you heard of this man?
No, I don't think so.
So he was a guy that went viral a few years ago, and he was this. I believe he did an armed robbery to like get someone's car or something. Like,
Oh, the black guy,
yeah, the mixed race black guy that was
blue
like,
eyes.
yeah, very attractive. And he, like, what's his status? His status is minus. He's got an objectively bad personality. This is
Yeah,
like
we're going back to the point system.
a
So
violent
there's
criminal.
very few guys. Remember the point system. Well, okay, access to resources plus three, connection and personality plus four, da da da, XYZ to get to 10 points to be the sex worthy guy. 0.001% of men can get all 10 points just from their status, just from their looks, and they need zero personality in game. Jeremy, whatever his name was, yeah, you're talking about like a mutant 0.00001% of man that can literally make girls melt on his looks. The same thing with like Kodak Black, right? He's the 0.0001% of like status. He's a household name, B list, maybe rapper. I'm not here to, debate his actual, full status, but I mean, um, it's all a point system. Men for relationships, men do the same thing. We take in personality, but if we're talking about just sexual attraction, men don't have. Well, I'll take some from her status, some from her money. I guess a connection actually does come into it somewhat for men too. There is somewhat of a connection aspect of it, but status and money doesn't come into it just purely for sex. But for women, it's always a point system. And look, if you can get all 10 of your points to be the sex worthy guy just from looks, but I have to get it some from looks, some from games, some from status, some from resources. As long as I get the 10 points, I'm in there. Like as long as I'm in, I'm in. I don't care how I got to 10 points.
But you wouldn't accept that if it was a average or below average looking woman that had high status. You would reject her because of her looks.
Yes, and so would every other guy.
Okay,
Bro, you're still
women are
claiming that
humans.
attraction.
They want to have healthy offspring. They're looking for good genetic quality.
Oh my gosh, bro, how many times have you heard the story?
We have.
Bro, how many times have you heard, like, okay, is this typical? The hotshot guy who just made partner in his law firm and now he has a net worth of 2 million is dating the 21-year-old waitress who's broke. Is that a common thing because she's beautiful?
Yes, but that
Like,
doesn't.
yeah, that's a common thing. Is the reverse
looks.
of that common? Is the reverse of that common?
Yeah,
Is the
like,
hotshot
that can happen? Like there's like women that
the 35-year-old
attractive.
hotshot, the
They get a
beautiful?
guy
Let's
that's
say
better
let's say
looking
let's say
than
both
them.
are handsome.
Because they got money, dude. I've seen
Beautiful
this.
women
I've seen this.
don't date broke guys.
I've seen women that
Wait,
weren't that
sorry.
attractive
You're
that
saying-
were trying
you're
to give
saying-
me gifts and stuff. Like I've seen it.
Yeah. So you're saying, well, okay, good-looking white guy in Thailand. Listen, I'm not here to shit on geomaxing. I geomax. I love being a passport bro. People say, oh, Casey, you get all these 9s and 10s in Brazil. You couldn't do that in America with the same frequency and ease. Duh. No shit. I never claimed that I could. So I'm not here to poo-poo that, but like, bro, like, again, these are, bro. So, okay. Hot, beautiful 9s and 10s, young, beautiful, insanely attractive women do not get into long-term relationships with broke men. Agree or disagree? Regardless of how they look.
I disagree.
Jeez. All right.
Jeremy Meeks is an example. He is a really good-looking guy.
He's the point. I just told you that he's you're taking it's like me using Eminem as my example. You can't take the ultimate, like, Jeremy Meeks is like a 12 out of 10. You can't just take like a normal 7.5 or 8 out of 10 guy and he's flat broke and he's going to be dating. But you understand that like only 1 to 2% max, actually probably way less, of women are a true 8 and above. And if these women could date a rich, do you understand how much a 9 to 5 job sucks, bro? Women want to be taken care of. They all want to be taken care of, bro. They're not gonna work. They're not gonna wash dishes because they can come home and fuck a Chad. Since she turned 14.
So so the importance of being a provider, and I think you'll agree with this, is becoming less and less as time goes on. As technology is getting better, society is getting wealthier. In the West, there's like very robust welfare programs, which I don't like, but like they exist. It's becoming less and less that you actually have to work to live. Like this is like it's like a trend that's going up. So
Bro, I don't know what planet you're on. No, I'll let you continue, but no, I wholeheartedly disagree.
Okay, so
but continue.
There was a time when I was doing YouTube, like I was running channels, and I was working maybe like 3 hours a day, and I was making good money from that. At no other point in time could I have ever done that. There's so many people that really don't work too much, yet they get very much rewarded. They live a high quality lifestyle, and it's because we're in this time period where there's a lot of people that can get by without working or doing very little work.
Bro, I could ask ChatGPT to pull up the stats, but it's something like 90% or 95% of people in third world countries live paycheck to paycheck, have absolutely no savings, are doubting where their next meal comes from. And in America, it could be as high as, 30, 40, 50% living paycheck to paycheck and zero savings. Sure. I mean, yeah, like, bro, I could like ask ChatGPT, or I'll ask ChatGPT, how many Americans live paycheck to paycheck? What percentage of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? Not that ChatGPT always gives the best answers, but
even if they are, like, have you seen people that are on welfare in America? Like, they're fat. They have an abundance of resources. That's
bro,
the poorest.
Come on. Just because you're fat doesn't mean you got money in the bank. What are you talking about?
Yes, it does. By definition, you can go calories you can buy.
Bro,
by
you
definition,
come from money, man. Okay,
this is not.
Please be honest. You come from money, bro. Are you going to deny this? because the internet will sleuth out everything. If you're gonna lie on this on a live, this is being recorded. The internet will dox you and sleuth you out one day, and you'll be caught, and you'll be formally proven to be a liar when the internet finds out. Do you come from money? Yes or no? Your family.
What a strange accusation. Like I'm pretending that I was a poor guy. Like I've never said anything like that.
I
Yeah,
didn't say
I
that,
would
but I'm saying
say
your point your
my
points of
family
view are
is
in
upper middle class.
well,
Yeah.
upper middle class. Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously, but you wouldn't be talking about that. And it's fine. Also, do you work a day job or just the channel aesthetics waiting?
I've run like my entire life. I've run YouTube channels. Like that's been my job.
But you don't do that now. You just do this channel.
No, I've got other channels too, but yeah,
Oh,
both.
awesome. Are you comfortable talking about like your finances just in terms of like you're broke, you're fairly well off, or you're extremely well off? Would you put
Uh,
yourself in one of those three categories, or do you want to be completely anonymous about that?
I, I'm fairly well off. Like, but where's this
You're
going?
fairly well.
Like, what's the?
Yeah, because again, this is why I would like to see some of the girls that you're dating, even if their eyes are blurred. You can still pretty much tell with a pretty good degree of reason. You can also just show their bodies and stuff because, again, I get really agitated when people say this is what works or this is my experience or you're doing it wrong or like to use that analogy again. Why are you always proposing to take? You're a simp. Every first date, you take a girl to a really nice, well-known restaurant within the city. I don't have to do that. Why would I take advice from this? Because you're dating fours, bro. The girls that I date, like, I just know by the way certain guys talk that they date mid chicks, bro. And I'm not saying that you're one of those guys per se. Um, especially look, you being in Thailand and looking like you do, and you're not a weirdo. You're holding the debate very well. You're extremely articulate. I wouldn't say you're a pushover or a weird, effeminate personality anyway. And again, you're in Thailand, and I'm sure you get some attractive women, but again, this isn't really an attack on you. I'm just saying, but there are certain things when you say like that resources don't matter. I either know, okay, this guy has a lot of resources and he's not aware of, why that's so important, or he's not, retaining into relationships with hot chicks. I'll stop talking in a second, but I like literally pulled up the data of like the amount of users on Seeking Arrangement and Sugar Daddy websites. And we basically proved that somewhere in the realm of, 60 to 80% of beautiful girls in the Western countries are monetizing their looks. And the other ones that aren't like outright on sugar dating websites, they're choosing to date rich guys because, bro, they don't want to fold clothes at the Gap, bro. They don't want to flip burgers at McDonald's, man. And these girls, they don't develop problem solving ability or intelligence a lot of the times. They need a guy to take care of them. They all want a guy to take care of them.
Uh, yeah, that's true to some extent, but what I was saying is that that's becoming less and less with each passing day. Like, the wealth in society is getting to the point where it's so high that the poorest in the West have a problem with obesity, whereas before it was a problem with starvation, starving to death. So you can see the trend here. It's more resources across the board. So we are looking at people becoming less and less reliant on having to work and toil for money and resources to stay alive. So although there's obviously a lot of people that are genuinely poor in like Latin America, Southeast Asia, Africa, India, lots of countries have problems with people legitimately poor, people that are actually malnourished and starving, but it's becoming less and less. If you look at the problem of starvation, people starving to death, it's just like it's decreased so much in like the past 100 years. It's insane. Like poverty has very much been solved in most cases. There are obviously pockets of people that are extremely poor, but this concept of being this like guy that doesn't have to care about looks and you can just pay your way to get like a beautiful woman, it's becoming
I
a
didn't say
dying
that.
art. Like that's becoming less and less each day. Like women have access to more ways than ever to monetize themselves, like OnlyFans, right? There's loads of way like job opportunities, like they can get a career in any corporate environments. In fact, corporate environments incentivize women to get into their ranks. And in the West, there's like a robust welfare state that pays you if you don't work. So there's a lot of things going on that makes
Brother,
this
but sorry to
pull of
interrupt, but
having
like,
money become less and less.
let's make this quick because I want to get back to something. But you know, you could be obese in America off of $1,000 a month. You know, you can get 4,000 calories at McDonald's for probably $5. Um, you know, if we should, by the way, first of all, as much as we're, you know, disagreeing and kind of like, you know, I'm really truly enjoying this debate. I think it's going to be great views, and I think it's going to be great to clip, and I'd love to do it again. And I do think we agree on more than we disagree on, but it's just funner and more entertaining to talk about the stuff we disagree on. But brother, we got to have a separate debate on this economic stuff. All beautiful women, 95% of them anyway, are never going to settle for a guy in the West who makes less than 180K. And less than 1% of men, I'd have to Google this actually. It's probably around maybe, you know, maybe it's up to 3-4%. I don't know. But a very small percentage of men make over 180K. I would love to debate that, you know, next time because I want to, you know, stay on the topic of more like, you know, dating stuff. But bro, like I can tell that you've never lived off of, you know, $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and you don't know how hard it is, or you know what these people go through in Brazil. You understand that I go to a nightclub in Brazil. I can go to any nightclub in Brazil, and every single girl that's above an 8 is monetizing her looks in some way. She's an outright prostitute. She's a sugar baby. She's paid by the club. They call it presencia VIP, which means VIP presence, which means she's just paid by the club to be there. There's not a single girl at a beautiful nightclub in Brazil that isn't in some, again, 5% maybe, 95 are, and they're just not going to accept. If you don't have to, option A, work and toil hard and stress yourself out and become wrinkled and solve some amazing problem in life, in the marketplace, to get rich, and 15 years of grinding and success and failure roller coaster to do that is option A. Some dude will just take care of you is option B. Which one are you gonna choose, bro? Like, come on, man. What are we talking about here, bro?
There's see, that's not such a clear-cut option. Like, okay, would you want to be taken care of to sleep with a 2 out of 10 woman for the rest of your life? That's kind of a hard question to answer, right? And I'm guessing you'd say no to that. And women don't want to sleep with some disgusting, greasy, fat guy for money. Like, that's why the guy has to have a lot of money, because they don't want to do it. And this is my whole point. If you look better, the amount of money would, like, logically have to decrease, which you provide, right? So if you look better, now you don't have to, like, provide so much. Now you can just be like an equal or whatever, and like she can be attracted to you for who you are. You know, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I would argue the who
Like,
you
okay,
are argument.
I don't want a girl to date me just because she can get something out of me. Like, I don't want her to date me because I've got status and she can get some followers on Instagram, or I've got literal money and she can get some of my money. That doesn't, I'd rather be alone than have that. Like, I want a girl to want to be with me and date me because she is attracted to me. Just me, full stop. Not because she wants some of my followers, not because she wants some money or whatever. Like, I that is gross to me. Like, I've never paid for sex in my life, and I don't want to, either through, even if that means not giving a girl like clout or whatever, like the currency you want to use. But like, this feels gross to me. Like, I don't want a girl to date me just to get something transactional from me. That's why
I agree.
I want to improve my looks. So a girl is like, she genuinely wants to, you know, snuggle with me, whatever the YouTube friendly phrases.
So two things on this. You and your buddy ever disagree drastically on what's an attractive girl? Some guy hates Asian girls, some guy loves them, some guy, again, if you like thick girls, I like them too. A lot of girls, they're fat. Why is he dating a fat chick? It's like, bro, She has thick thighs. So agree, right? Men disagree a lot on looks. Um,
Well, hold on. There's like some objective standards. Like even like
but
a
we don't need to
chubby
dissect.
chaser
Yeah,
wants a small waist, right? So, like
sure, but
at the
we don't
top
need to
end, there's a lot
dissect
of
this like too
disagreement.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we don't need to dissect this too much because we all know that there's nuance to it. It wasn't meant to be like super literal, but yeah, men disagree on a lot. You know, some prefer them thin, tall, thick. Some guys like black chicks. Some guys like white. Women want to go back to my point system. You know, I had a friend. I guess I'll say her name because no one's gonna. I'll just say her first name, Jessica. So my friend Jessica was like a guy. She's the only girl that I ever knew that would like, you know, when she would get drunk, she'd like pinch guys' butts when they walked by. She would request dick pics from guys. She also was unwilling to accept a guy that wasn't rich and going to take care of her as well. So she did have that. But she's almost like a guy in terms of looks, where like your personality, whatever, everything took a backseat to look. She was extremely superficial when it came to looks. And then I've met girls. It's more foreign women. Women in the West tend to get a lot more brainwashed because they're taught by feminism to generally hate men. They're taught to be masculine. They take on more masculine traits. Part of being masculine is being more superficial on looks. If you're taught to hate men, you're naturally going to take looks. But especially with foreign women, they, a lot of them, bro, if you're just like, again, let's make one thing clear. I super advocate going to the gym. I super advocate LooksMaxxing. I do niacinamide, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid every single day, light oil-based cleanser, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get the hair transplant filled in. You know, my body's probably a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. I have a little bit of abs. I advocate this. I don't advocate ever being like a schlub and only using status or money. But there are women out there where looks is just generally speaking to all women to increase your odds in a general dating market. Yes, looks is super important. Generally, women care about looks, but there's a good 10 to 15% where, yes, they care a lot, but it's more about if you're their type. Like if they really like white guys with blue eyes, they're more like you got to be that type. But as long as you're a white guy with blue eyes and you're in somewhat normal looking and somewhat not fat, you're like a 7.5 to them because you're their type.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think having a niche appeal is a lot better than just being some anonymous guy in the background. That's obviously a lot more of an advantage because if you're like an average guy, you're lumped in with the great masses of people on like a dating app. Like they just get swiped left on because you're literally dime a dozen, right? Whereas if you have something, some little X factor to you, like you're like the skater guy, you're the emo guy, you're like the blonde guy with blue eyes, you're the hyper masculine guy that looks like The Rock, whatever it is, as long as it's something that sets you apart from the pack, you will do a lot better than the average Joe. I think that.
Yeah, like for example, to agree with you, if a guy was like I used to live in West Hollywood, so I know I learned terms. It's a very gay area. So what a gay dictionary would call a bear is a what it sounds like, a big hairy guy. So would you agree that a guy with a traditionally ugly face, he's big, he's 6'3", he's jacked, he's kind of chubby, like I said, hairy, and he's got kind of a mean, ugly face, but he just looks dangerous and he's covered with tattoos. Very ugly to a lot of women, but he's gonna crush it to
With some
10
women,
to
with
15%
some
of
women.
women.
Yeah.
With 10 to 15% of women, he's going to be the better option than a Leonardo DiCaprio. Whereas the other 85 are going to approve of Leo. So we do agree on the niche thing. I got to go in a bit. This has been a pleasure. I want to just
Yeah,
talk
same.
a bit about my strategy real quick and see. We'll just go through this almost like fire round. See, because again, I wanna make it clear that I'm not about like a traditional cold approach guy. So this is a big thing too. Actually, let me know what you feel about this, right? Is this dishonest?
Whoa.
Is this cringy? Is this weird?
Ah.
Um,
What's going
now
on there? Is
let's
that a bit of Photoshop? Like,
it's Photoshop. So let me give my opinion on it first, and then I want to hear your opinion. My
ah,
opinion is this. My opinion on it is this. This is how I actually am. This is how I portray myself on dating apps. I go out with a girl, we match, we're flirting. She's totally in my frame. She's laughing at my jokes. She's hanging on my stories. She's laughing her ass off. We're drinking wine. We're flirting. It's getting touchy. It's getting sexual. She's super, super into me. She's like, oh my God, what a great, interesting guy. What a connection we have. I take her home, throw her on my bed, rip my shirt off as if she's going to notice this 10 to 15% difference. Plus, she's probably face apped her. Like, she doesn't look like she's had more filters and she's done more tricks to make herself better looking on the app than I have. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Uh, yeah. So I get the arguments. You think that if other girls are doing filters and makeup and all that kind of stuff, then why can't I do a bit of it? Um, yeah. Like you're good at color grading or whatever you're doing there,
Yeah.
and you filled in the hairline a bit.
Yeah, I fill in the hairline. I'm like I said, I'm gonna get it actually filled in anyway. But yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous, bro. Like, if anyone is like a Photoshop expert, like try like, well, the waves are, curved too. Like you're
But
not.
this is dishonest. Like let's not
Yeah, this was just for fun. Yeah,
let
this was just for fun. Yeah, yeah. You see, with me, I basically just color graded it and filled in my hair. You know what I mean? Like,
all right.
or for
Yeah.
this. How about this?
So
Sorry, do you approve, disapprove, cringy, not cringy?
I think filling in the abs with the pencil tool or whatever, I think that's a bit much. But I think using some kind of like face filter or Photoshop or whatever, I think it could be excusable if you still look like the person that you are IRL. If it's like
How about in
the
this case?
you see that the hairline isn't like that. You know,
Let's assume the hairline was fixed, which it will be.
I don't know. If you're just messing with colors, obviously that's like, yeah, I don't think you could say
Well, no,
that's dishonest.
my arm is 10% bigger, my
Yeah,
chest
and
is 10%
you
bigger.
photoshopped a more side delt. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
did.
still it's still a
I
bit yeah, it's on the dishonest side, I must say.
Okay, so your opinion is you're not super offended by it, but you don't approve per se.
I don't think you should be arrested for fraud, but I understand the
Would you
context.
recommend would you recommend that other guys do this? Like to your audience, like to your viewers, you say, "Hey, yes, bitches are fucking playing dirty on the apps. Is this dirty? Yes. Is this a little bit deceitful? Yes. But bitches are doing it too. They don't look like their photos either. If they're going to take the gloves off and play dirty, we should do that too. I condone making yourself 10%, 20% better looking, or do you not condone it?
Well, morality aside, and I'm not a moral authority to anybody, they can make up their own mind. I think that strategically, if you were going to do this, you gotta make it look at least how you are IRL. Like, if someone doesn't recognize you when you meet them in the cafe or whatever, then you got a problem. Then you're going way too far. But if it's like little stuff like color grading, like removing a spot from your face, like I've done that before, I'll admit. Then it's like,
That's
whatever.
temporary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like it's it's only when like you put like the Chad filter on your face and like you just get like a jawline and cheekbones out of nowhere. That's ridiculous. But I understand the context that women do this too. Like women do this way more than men. Like it's not even comparable.
Way more, bro.
So like
It's not. This is what I say. If anyone's like nervous, like, oh well, um, what is she gonna say? I'm scared when we come in real life that she's gonna notice. You should be scared about what you're gonna notice about her, not what she notices about you. And for the record, I've never even remotely been called out on it. Um,
you've never had a
80% of
girl
my
be like,
first
"Wait,
dates.
where's your abs?" They've never said
Yeah,
that.
exactly right. No, they never said that. Also, I flexed earlier. The lighting was kind of weird. I have side lighting. I do actually kind of have. I mean, I'll show the original photo.
Yeah, I get
Like
it.
I do have
Downward
abs, bro.
lighting helps
They're
with
just
muscle.
like they're just not. They're not chiseled, but like I mean, these are. I mean, like look at that. That's not. These are abs of sorts. Plus, again, bro, like they're in my frame. It's too late. They've made that lot. They've made a decision. Casey is an attractive, sexy man. Like they've locked in that belief, and they're seeing me through a different lens. It's like the way you look at your sister or your mom or your brother or your dad. Like you see your dad through a different lens than other people see your dad. Like because you know that like the love that he gave you. You know what I mean? Like it's just like you see she's and then my profile, she's like, oh, this guy speaks on stage, he travels, he has this amazing social life. Oh, like they're looking at all of this too, bro. They're not like, because again, I don't think that like a 9 out of 10 girl is going to be like, oh my god, pectoral muscles, I've never felt pectoral muscles before. I mean, yes, and again, looks matter a lot, but I think the real enjoyment for a girl is personality, connection, and being taken care of.
Well, I like I've said, like I think with the filter stuff, like if you're gonna do it, at least make it so that you look like how you are IRL. But it is dishonest. But the context is there's a lot of dishonesty in the dating market from the female side. So, you know, I I'm not gonna get super mad at a guy any more than I would a girl doing it, and there's loads of girls doing it. So, that's fair, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's wrap it up now. But yo, pleasure, man. And I would love to do this again. I just want to plug your shit real quick so they know where to find you. I mean, a lot of my viewers are in your stream. Plus, this is going to be re-uploaded to my channel as well. I'm just going to literally download it from yours
And
and do it. Oh, okay, yeah. Here's the channel,
aesthetics waiting.
aesthetics waiting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, talk about it. What do you do? What do you teach? What are you all about?
Just like LooksMaxxing and talking about looks in society, just speaking from the heart.
Okay. There's some actionable advice in there for guys to improve themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Cool. And then I'll just make, my spiel real quick too. So my viewers, you probably already know this, but for the new people that this reaches in the algorithm and stuff, I run a community called Modern Dating Mastery. Yeah, we have a coaching call coming up. That's kind of why I got to bounce. Um, we teach all the methods to succeed in one of the most difficult dating markets that men have ever faced. I talked a little bit about, the building the high status attractive profile, cheating, touching up your photos, but we also talk a lot about, automations and stuff like that. I put a big emphasis on dating foreign women. So this is something that aesthetics waiting, or Eth as I call him, I assume you would agree on that, geomaxing is a great option.
There are some downsides though. Geomaxing
Yes,
isn't
but let's let's
ultimate.
let's get into that. You're totally right, dude. You're totally right. And I really want to get into that on the next one, but I do have a coaching call. So yeah, like we're building an AI tool that will look at girls' attractiveness on Instagram and build you a list of girls you can prospect and reach out to. It'll also swipe on Tinder. You can even train it on the type of girls you like. We have a big free course. The link to join is this school.com/MDM. If you don't mind, you can put a link in the bio. I'll link to your channel. When I download this and re-upload it, I'll put a link to your channel.
Okay.
Yeah, again, my shit is school.com/MDM. And brother, it has actually been a pleasure, not just saying that. I think, I have a lot of guys where we just, you're so cool and let's hear about your backstory, and that's kind of boring. I think this is one of the most entertaining. Chat, let us know. What did you think about this debate? Was it interesting? Did you like it? Let us know in the chat. But
Well, yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I think it's kind of pointless to have a debate and you don't get into like the meat and potatoes of things, and you just like it's like a boxing press conference where guys are just saying nice stuff about each other. It's boring.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Sweet. So yeah, let's do it again sometime. I think we have a lot more to go on. I want to talk about more of the economic stuff. We can talk about the downsides of being a passport bro. We can talk more about geomaxing. We can talk more about my strategy, because again, I think you're more clear on it now, but I'm not like a hardcore cold approach pickup guy.
Yeah.
You've seen a bit more of this now,
Okay.
automations, cheating. I think I look like a Chad in some of those photos. I think I've achieved my goal of deceiving girls. I don't know what you think, but um,
Yeah.
I think
Some of the picks. Yeah. Okay. Fine. You are above a 6.
yeah, yeah.
Some of the picks.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and maybe you can meet me sometime in real life, and then you will know that I'm not just paying a bunch of
Some huckster,
prostitutes.
some bullshit artist.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
actually pull girls in front of me. Okay. Then
yeah.
I'll change my tune.
Yeah, well, I've already done this. I won't. I've done this on YouTube Live. I've done this many, many times on YouTube Live, where we go. That's why I said, well, hypothetically, if I was to pick up girls on YouTube Live, like, yes, I've done this many, many times, where I'll stream myself picking up girls in the streets or at clubs. And could I have texted some actress and said, "Meet me on the corner of," so? Like, I guess I could have, but like, I think people can just kind of tell. There's even times when it's unexpected. I'm on somebody else's stream and they're like, "Hey, Casey Redbeard's here," and like we run into each other at the thing, and I don't know, but whatever. We'll make it happen, man. And Latinas are better looking than Asian chicks, so I shouldn't have too much
Oh
trouble to
shit.
convince you to come
That's
out here, eh?
crazy. That's crazy. I Anyway, it's just subjective. It doesn't matter, does it? Like, I like my thing, you like your thing, whatever.
No, man. I am right
No,
and
no.
you are wrong. No, I'm kidding.
Objectively,
No,
I am right.
Of course you are, bro. All right, man. Again, big pleasure. Thank you guys. When I re-upload this, subscribe to Aesthetics Waiting. I'm obviously Redbeard Rants, and I guess we can just end it now. I guess we
Yeah,
can just end the stream. I'll chat with you.